So, I mean, just coming off just talking about this year's team, did you ever see a left-hander like Hagan, and does he remind you of anybody, or what is it, from your perspective, that makes him so special?
Yeah. No, I never saw anything a left-hander like Hagan Smith. The guys that I thought were really good that we faced were nowhere close to what he's done and what he's doing. I mean, really, the three people in all of college baseball history that you can say are having this type of season is Steven Strasburg, not Berger, Paul Skeens last year, and Hagen Smith. He's in like he's in elite status right now. Never seen anything like it, and just I think that what he's got, obviously, he's very talented with his arm and the stuff, the physical aspects, but I think he's just has a mental edge on everybody else that he's facing that really elevates him to be as good as he is. He's fun to watch, I'll tell you that.
You mentioned you don't have a ton of SEC tournament memories because you guys wanted to get to Omaha. Yeah. So were you guys did you want like a quick stay? How did Coach Van Horn sort of approach that?
This is such a hard question. The experienced players, the veteran players wanted a quick stay. Yes, I won't lie to you. I mean, you're never supposed to want to lose, and we didn't want to lose, but when we set ourselves up in 18 to be a national seed, we knew what was coming, and it's really hard to not want to get back to Baum Stadium and play in front of your fans, and play for something life or death situation, which is the playoffs. I mean, which is regionals and super regionals. If you don't win, you're out. So it was always Coach Van Horn's what he said before this tournament is go get your at bats. Make sure you're as a hitter. I don't know about pitchers, but go get your at bats. Make sure you're seeing the ball well. Don't be swinging out of the zone. Refine your zone. This is a precursor to what we're going to be doing the next couple of weeks. So.
We talked about you kind of playing a little bit all over the field. So how difficult is it to change positions like that throughout your career? And I mean, we've seen somebody like Peyton Holt do it and then get on the all-defensive team. So just, are you surprised that he's been able to do it so well, and what makes that difficult?
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not. I mean, you think about it, you just have a guy that's in left field all the time, and he just gets to take 100% of his practice reps in left field. Well, if you're bouncing around, you got to do 50% here, 20% here, just to protect, just in case you got to go play right field when you don't ever play it. And so you're just bouncing around. You can't focus on one position. To see Peyton Holt do it, my God, I love that kid. I think we all love that kid. He's been so good. I'm not surprised because of his winning background in football and baseball at Greenwood. And he's so fun to watch, and just really happy for him, and just keep going, man.
It kind of seemed like, just looking back on the last few years, it kind of seemed like something sort of changed after that 2016 year, not making the tournament, and then now they've had this unprecedented run of just postseason success. Did it feel like being inside of it, like something changed after that year, or now that you look back on it, do you feel like something did?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give you a quick story. So 15, we went to Omaha, and this was my class's junior year coming into 16, and we were a little bit entitled. We thought we were going to be, the best team that we possibly ever, and because we had such a strong class, and come to find out, SEC baseball is hard, and nothing is given to you, but you have to go out there and take everything in SEC baseball, and we weren't aware of that. I mean, I'll just straight up tell you. And 17, with the returner guys that came in, the sophomores that were now juniors, I mean, we all just really sat down and we were like, this is not happening again here. It's not happening. And so then and there, I think we got back on track from the culture that we had previous, in previous years, and just really just sank into each other and did it together. And I think that big swing from 2016, terrible, worst team in the league, to above average. I think we lost in regionals to Missouri State that year. But that just kind of excelled us being so down and then having to make a move and doing something big for the program.
What is it about Coach Van Horn or maybe the other people on the staff just that makes them such a good postseason team?
That's a tough question. I would say, as a starter, a guy that's really that's playing every single day. When you're in the postseason, you know that DVH is going to have your back. If you have a bad game, he's not just going to sit you for the rest of the year, things like that. And knowing that as a starter is so freeing, and it just allows you to be yourself and not have to worry about something you can't control, because it's already controlled by DVH. So I think that's one thing for sure that I felt like, and I was very gracious of DVH for, is like he's just stuck with his guys and by postseason play. And then as far as mentality, I mean, there's no one who's tougher than DVH. There's no one that wants to succeed more than DVH, and you can feel that, but it's not like a nervous energy. It's like we're going to ride with you energy and go to battle with you. And he just does a good job of getting his locker room ready.
What was the hardest venue you ever played in?
Ole Miss. Ole Miss was crazy. I had a. This is kind of bad. I'm not going to say the word, but I have a good story. So we're taking infield in Ole Miss, and I think it was like 2016 or 2017, and I'm playing third base that game, and I go out there and they have a bunch of kids on the sideline, and I guess it was like kids day or something like that, and I'm taking ground balls and I try to be a nice guy, and I go up to a kid and I try to dap him up. I'm like, "What's up, buddy? How are you?" And the kid told me to F off, and he's like 8 years old, and I was like, "Did you guys just hear this?" And so that was the first thing, and then the second thing is during the game they started just chanting just terrible things at our outfielders, and I swear on my life, I looked up and I saw during one of the chants, and I saw a 70-year-old grandma saying the same exact stuff that the college kids were saying to our outfielders. I can't say it here, but yeah, it was definitely Ole Miss for sure.
Did you guys enjoy going into environments like that, or was it a little bit of dread?
No, we enjoyed it. It was fun. It's all. I mean, who cares? That's kind of how we felt. It's like it doesn't really matter. It's not gonna sway our play. I know it's harder to win on the road, but it wasn't. It was funny. We saw it and we like laughing with our teammates about it and things like that. So no, it didn't scare us or anything like that.
I had totally forgotten about the backflip thing. Did that start in high school or college, or when? How did that come to be?
I think that I knew I could do it in high school. I mean, I had trampoline, and so I did backflips on trampoline growing up all the time. But going into college, my freshman year, they were just randomly. I mean, I was redshirting, provided no value to the team other than being the bullpen catcher and doing backflips. And they were just like, "We need someone who can do backflip." And I was like, "I think I can do it." And so I just did it one day, and the rest, I guess, is history.
So then, last thing from me, just Arkansas might have another Golden Spikes Award winner this year. You played with Comps and with Benintendi. Just what made those guys great, and what was special about watching them, go on those award-winning runs?
Yeah. Well, I'll start with Benny. Probably the most naturally gifted athlete I've ever seen in my life. I think Comps and Benny's situations are way different. Benny was a hard worker on top of being just 10 times better than everybody else at that level. And that's what elevated him. He's got a swag that you can't really, no one really has that. I mean, it's big league swag, and he had it in college. And so his mental game was so strong. And on top of that, he's just a great player. With Cops, I mean, you want to talk about a hard worker. He is the hardest worker I have ever played with, hands down, not even a question. And that's just what elevated him. I mean, I think he was just tired of being average, and came into his senior year. I wasn't there; I got to watch from the stands, but I think that he just was tired of being average and just told himself it's not happening, and built that cutter, and the rest is history. But yeah, seriously, in my 5 years that I was there, hands down, the hardest worker was Kevin Cobbs, no question. That's what elevated him.
Thank you again for being here. Everybody give Carson Shaddy a hand.